welcome to Emma's Life in Norfolk. I hope you're all well. So today I'm going to be doing a lot of work on this bed. Now I've spoken before about how I really struggle to get the levels. You see beautiful beds and you see all these tall things at the back and they all come down to the front. I've never been able to do that unless I do it with pots. If I arrange them with pots, somehow I'm able to do it. I'm just not able to do it with the actual plants. But what I also look at other people's gardens and see how each of their plants are very carefully defined. Whereas what's happened with my bed is I think I've got all these lovely plants, but actually because they've got so big and they've spread out to such a degree, it just looks like this mass of green. They're not actually defined and separate. And then we've got different plants that have kind of filled in the gaps. So forget-me-nots, which I like, but they reseed and they go everywhere. Aqualecia growing in the middle of plants. Michaelmas daisies growing in the middle of plants. So in this video, I'm going to really make some changes to this bed. I don't get it all finished because it is quite a big undertaking. And I do find with stuff in the garden and in the house, I start things and I don't always end up finishing them. But my daughter was doing some biology revision while I did this, and she set a timer for me because I had to come in at 4:30 to put the oven on and start dinner. So she finished her bits and then I was doing this. So what I started by doing is I started by looking at the individual plants, defining which plants I wanted, and then I cleared out all around them. So I dug up a lot of Michaelmas daisies. They've really spread. They're not the big white ones, they're the little tiny purple ones. And they send runners and they really spread, which is lovely when you want them to, but not when they just go into all other plants. Also goldenrod. Goldenrod spreads really quickly, and I've got goldenrod coming up in the roots of my tree in the middle of bulbs. So I really wanted to clear back some of this. So the reason why I started in this area was because I've got those other globe artichokes that I want to put here with the other one that's sitting by itself. Because I think it was Brooke a while ago said to me about putting things in threes. I like even numbers, but she said often with design people put things in threes. So I thought it'd be a good idea to put 3 where I'm sitting on the video. They come up, they're tall. Eventually I'll be able to get the fruit from them when they get bigger and stronger. And as well as that, they last for a lot of the winter. So they've got a nice backdrop. That's what my thoughts are. So you can see I've got a geranium in the front, which is really spread. But I probably end up filling, I don't know, about 6 of that big container's worth of weeds and just plants which are in the wrong place and coming up everywhere. My fatsia has got to a good height on the right there. That's got to a good level. But I've noticed one of my little trees in the back has sadly died, so I need to take that out. And I might ask for a lilac tree for my birthday. And this massive green looks really lovely, and you can understand why I've got hedgehogs in my garden, can't you? Because there's so much coverage here and so many places to find slugs and snails. I found quite a few snails as I was doing this. But I want my garden to look nice as well as be at one with nature. I've got rid of all that pile of things that I needed to have the fire with, as you saw in my video the other day. So I need to reseed all of that. And I'm going to have part of my grass grow a bit longer as well. So that'll be good for the hedgehog and insects and wildlife generally. So I spend quite a long time just in this area, and then you'll see that I move round and do other parts of the bed. You'll see I do a part for the front near the big delphinium. It's that delphinium which you can just see on the camera. It's it's a giant delphinium, and I daren't move it because I'll damage it now. I need to wait until it's probably died back down again. But it's really, really tall and it's right at the front of the border. I just should put it right at the very back or closer to the back. I really should. I also dug up some Mrs. Brundish's lilies because they'd spread quite heavily. So you'll see that I've moved them into another area. So I'll have them come out in 2 different areas in the autumn time. They really give a lovely amount of flower later in the season. And so I create an area there. And then you'll also see that I clear another area ready for where I'm going to put my lupins. And again, what I would have done in the past is probably put my lupin plants like in a line. But instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like 3 plants close together at the front. And I don't know. I'm just not very good at this design part of it. I wish I was better, and I don't really know how to become better. Anyway, we're all learning, aren't we? So I think the priority is to weed, to define the individual plants, and to pull out the plants where you don't want them. So obviously the Michaelmas daisies, they're not weeds, but I don't want them there because they've just spread. So it's to be kind of a bit more ruthless on where some of the plants have grown and spread and gone into the other plants. So I'm going to go through a few of your comments. Now, I just wanted to say thank you very much to people who've recently subscribed to my channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I really very much appreciate those people who've just joined us. So a big welcome to everybody. So I'm going to go through some of your comments now. So Anne-Marie Sadler says, really loving your renovation. I think it's good you're hoovering as it's better for you all, especially your daughter. I'm in the process of buying a flat to rent out. Exchange this week, hopefully. I'm using an estate agent to find a tenant and do the references, etc. It costs, though, like everything. Tiling in the bathroom, lovely. Oh, thank you for your comments. So has it gone through? Have you got much to do? Or is it ready to go? Please let me know. Thank you for your comment, Anne-Marie. Cammy Hell says it's coming right along. Rebecca Corsa-Wallace, well, I wish I'd messaged Rebecca. I could have met her. That would have been nice, wouldn't it? Rebecca Corsa-Wallace says Birmingham is just up the road from me, Emma. I'm in Solihull. I lived in Sunderland for a short time. Everyone was lovely and I loved the way they spoke. And I messaged to say I've just got the train from New Street. And Rebecca said, New Street can get so busy. I sometimes get the train from there to International. I don't go into Birmingham that much now. Thank you, Rebecca, for letting me know. Have you heard about your appointments? I was thinking about you the other day. Susan Crawford says, for your bathroom, you could get a tension blind. There's no drilling required. Look online. Angela Wag says, great progress, Emma. Glad you're nearly at the finishing line. It's exhausting work as there was always something else to do. My rental was finished today and the tenant passed the credit check, so just references to go. We'll be pleased for you when it's let so you can enjoy the summer. And Angela also said, there are no drill blinds on Dunelm Argos Amazon. Never had any, so I can't say if they're any good. And Sandy said, can you get a tension rod to go across the bathroom window? No drilling required. In the end, my friends, my husband took everything to do the drilling, and he's done a very good job of it. He's used a hacksaw to cut the blind, and I've seen the pictures. I'm very impressed. So he's done that. So that's good. And I shared with you, you'll probably hear me say a little bit about this on my other channel, but I did find a tenant, absolutely lovely. She won't pass a credit check, which I've got. I do give people second chances, so I'm happy to take the risk based upon the reason for her historical problems and issues. But unfortunately, when I asked for statements, her partner gave me the most recent statement with loads of bounced direct debits. So I don't mind if someone's done past mistakes, past problems. I think we can change. And you know, there's one person that I dealt with in the past. he was like 18 or 19 and ran up loads of catalogue bills and then didn't pay them. And his mum just said, oh, don't worry, don't worry. And of course, in the end, that snowballed and the amount got bigger and bigger and bigger. He didn't pay, and then he's got really bad credit history as a result. But what I won't accept is where direct debits are bouncing at the moment, because that to me, they've not changed. So sadly, I'm not going to be able to go ahead with them. Stacey says, hello Emma, things seem to be coming on. I do understand your disappointment concerning plastering. I would most definitely voice my concerns on the plastering and other things that you're disappointed about. But I love the tile in the kitchen. I love the bathroom. Keep pushing forward. Thanks so very much for sharing a great video. I love it. Thank you, Stacey, for your lovely comment and for all the support you give me. And I'm wishing you a wonderful Easter. Katrina Valles says, I have the same tiles in my renovated bathroom. We must have similar taste. Wow, that's funny, isn't it? We've got the same tiles. They do look very nice. Henry is about $460. I'd heard that he is quite expensive. Lynn Marie O'Hara says, would you consider changing the bathroom door to open outwards onto the hall? It frees up floor space. I would potentially think about that if it was a house that I was going to be living in. But as it's not, I won't, because that's not going to gain me any benefit. That's not going to increase the value of the house or increase the rental price. Louise says, I googled Henry. I don't think we can get him in Australia. He is super. Honestly, I think anyone would think that I'm being paid to advertise him. I can assure you I'm not. I don't agree with that. Anything that I say, if something's good, I've not taken payment for anything. I'll give my honest views about everything. Karen says, a great video. I love the mechanical bull. Yeah, I loved him too. He looked like he was going to be able to walk. Sheila Max says, the house is looking great, Emma. I hope you get nice tenants. I love watching your trips to different places. Thank you very much. All these lovely comments. I'm so lucky. Tor Foster says, I love this. Thank you so much for sharing. We will consider going here. It looks great. So Tor Foster has also commented about being a similar sort of age to me. And she's got 2 children, one which is the same age as my daughter. Now, all children are different, aren't they? And I think it very much depends what parents are like. So me as a mother, I absolutely love Anton Pieck's drawings. I love fairy stories. I love everything to do with that. So I know some people feel like, oh, you know, they outgrow certain things. Well, some children do, but I think because my daughter has got me as a mum who likes these sorts of things very, very much, she also enjoys it. It's like with Disney. I mean, do you ever get too old for Disney? I think if you like Disney, you like Disney. So I find the whole place very magical, and there's something to do for all the family. So I'd strongly recommend it, Tor Foster. I think you'll love it. But definitely do a bit of research. There's a good Facebook group, Efteling for Brits, I think it's called. You could get some more information on there. Sandy says, thank you for sharing your vacation with us. Nan Holmes says, thanks for sharing. It looked lovely. Elsie Blazier says, it looks a lovely place to visit. I must take a trip there. And the tips are very useful. Thank you. Thank you, Elsie. It's a lovely thing to say. Lisa Malone says, what a wonderful trip. So glad you had good weather and good health and had an enjoyable time. It's so good that you found some chips that your daughter was able to enjoy at the park. I look forward to hearing about the rest of your trip. Thank you, Lisa. That really means a lot to us when we like those crispy chip things that she could have and the portion of chips. It seems a very, very small thing, but when you're so restricted as she is and you just can't have things, it's hard. And you also appreciate things when people do things. I'll give you an example. years ago we got invited to a birthday party, and I was just completely used to taking a lunchbox, and this mum made a lunchbox of food, and this mum made a special effort to sort out food. It really does mean a lot. When my mum had a big birthday, and me and her went and spoke to the chef at the restaurant so I could reassure myself that they were going to be able to cook the meal for her, no problem. So I thought at this point I'd just do a quick pan around of the area so you can see the area that I haven't done any work on and how much everything is spread. So there's massive, massive great clumps of the Michaelmas daisies, and then you can see the area that I've dug around and cleared out, and the big pile of bulbs that I'm going to put just where I sit down. So on the left hand side where there's now a gap, I'm going to plant in those artichokes with the lovely leaves that I always go on about. And then in front of the other artichoke, I'm going to clear this whole area. Now it does mean there's a few bluebells and a few forget-me-nots that I have to dig up in order to clear the space. But I dig a big hole, and then I manage to move the nerines, which I call Mrs. Bundish's lilies, into that area. And so that'll just be quite nice to give the area some sort of late summer, autumn colour. At the moment, it's a big pile of them in one area, so by splitting them, I'll have the colour split. So as I was saying, it's always really nice when someone is considerate about food. We're going to a wedding coming up, and it's a close family member, and they said to me, "Oh, I was thinking about what you were saying about food and about cross-contamination, so can I give you some money and you bring along some snacks in a lunchbox?" I thought I can't even begin to put what I'm feeling into words, to be honest, as you could probably just tell. I thought, goodness me, there's going to be family and there's going to be friends, and my daughter's going to sit with a lunchbox, and no one has made any thought or effort to check to see if the restaurant can do anything. Certainly there's no expectation from me, but I just thought someone would have asked. So I said, "Oh, snacks?" I said, "People will be having dinner, won't they?" And they said, "Well, there's sort of like snacky foods in the afternoon, and then there's a evening sort of another small food about 6 or 7. So I'm going to have to decide what to take her in a series of lunch boxes." But when I mentioned it to her, she was quite happy about that. I said, "Oh, we'll get 6 lunch boxes and we'll fill them with lots of different things so you'll have your own buffet." So she was happy, but I just think it's a bit of a shame. Tracy Forth says, "Such a beautiful place. My mum and dad loved Holland." Angela Wag says, "Glad you enjoyed it," with some little emojis. Katrina Valles says, "Such a magical place. I'd love to visit it. I'm on the train to Venice after 3 wet days in Florence. It's my 4th visit, so I didn't have to do everything. Happy Easter to you and your family." So Katrina, you love these places as much as me. I've been to Florence twice. It's so funny with the weather. Usually Italy's lovely and sunny, but we went to Tuscany one year, and my goodness, our accommodation was next to a German family, and the German family packed up everything and went home early because the weather was so bad. We did not decide to leave early, and we just put up with the weather. But I can remember it hailing and being cold, like in July. The Real Dutch Idiots says, "I never knew Efteling was in either of the Holland provinces. Must be because it's not in Holland, but in the Netherlands. North Brabant, to be exact." Now that's a very interesting statement, and I did ask my husband about this. Most English people call the country Holland. Maybe we're wrong, but I would not say I'm going on holiday to the Netherlands. If I said I was going on holiday to the Netherlands, I think some people would not know what I was talking about. Obviously people that aren't well travelled, but everybody would know Holland. So I don't know, maybe that's just something because I'm English. So I'm nearly at the end of my video here, so look out for my next video where I'm going to plant in my lupins, plant in my artichokes and clear more of this bed. And hopefully I'll be able to make a bit of a transformation in this area. If you've got any tips for me in terms of getting it all in perspective, so I've got, you know, taller bits at the back and shorter plants at the front, then I'd really welcome your advice. So thank you very much for watching my video. Thank you for your likes and for your comments, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye bye.